Alright, I'm gonna hit start recording on my end as well. And away we go. See my coffee? Take a fresh sip. Alright. Alright, so thank you all for joining on my first little test stream here. I have a work in progress build. There's one I had started some time ago, but then paused so I could do this as a first build for the stream. So as you can see, it's sort of half done here. It's a little bit of a truncated build, if you will. So I have these switches inserted, but as you can see, they're not soldered yet. That was mainly done for stability because this plate is what's called a half plate. You have this section for the alphas here that's cut out. That allows more flex. You still have a plate on the what's called the mod keys here. And the plate material is polycarbonate, which is a very flexy material. A little bit of a pain to build with. Because when you put switches in, you have to make sure they're seated up on here. That's why I kind of did this as sort of a half build before, just to get the plate seated. Even pressure. It's not too bad once you get into it. Usually helps to have something thin like a pair of chopsticks to just push through. Help push up on the underside. But because it's been a little bit since I worked on this, I'm going to check the stabs first. Normally with a build, I would tune those all right on camera before, but since I was just kind of putting switches in to check the stability, I already did the stabs. But because it's been some time, it's always a good sort of habit to check to see if you've lubed it enough, or if the lube is still good. So, let me just grab thick lube. Birdie, this is a solder build. I believe I do have a hot swap PCB for this board, but generally you don't want to do hot swap with a very flexible plate material like this, because it'll flex too much for hot swap. You have a chance of maybe popping switches out of the hot swap sockets, or if you go to pull switches out with your switch puller for hot swap, the flexible plate material just won't do a great job of holding the switch for that. That's why if you want to experiment with flex, I would recommend doing a soldered build, because then you have that sort of extra bit holding on from the back with the soldered pins. Alright. Anyways, without further ado, so right now I'm going to check the stabilizers. That's on these boards. It's the orange sort of bits here. Generally, when you build boards, you don't have to mess with the stabs too much afterwards, except when it's been quite some time or heavy usage. I haven't had to restune tabs unless it's been maybe 6 months to a year after a build, or if I'm using it very, very heavily. And so that's just what I'm checking for here. If you can see on the board where I did the stabs, I kind of have a lot of... Oop, just get used to the camera. Quite a bit of grease put in there. And then also on the back side. Now I'm just checking to see if there's still a sufficient amount of grease, because this has been a work in progress for a bit. And for greases for stabs, I tend to use something very thick like a dielectric grease, Permatex. This one's a very common one used in the community. This one's a personal. Thank you for asking. Just to show you, I got a couple commands put in chat for this. Exclamation point build, which I hope to keep updated as streams go on. Yep. Yep. So I had to have fun with it with the bot. And in terms of other commands I added in, there's exclamation point board I'm putting in right now. And so that's for this guy right here. This one I had built quite some time ago. I think I built back in, I want to say February or March 2020. Oh, thanks, Birdie. Appreciate it. I was just doing a little messing around before today's stream, so figured I'd add some commands in. Figured just a few basic commands to cover these sort of FAQs that come up during streams. I mean, hey, HPs, those are classic tactiles. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm just going to go through and just quickly just add some more lube to the stabs because it's been sitting around for a bit. So I take a bit of Permatex grease. Stop it, Black Ice. I see the work you've been putting in. Nah, y'all been putting in work. I'm the slow ass who sat on this for like 7 months. But thanks for coming by, guys. Anyways, for the process, I take a little bit of the Permatex, the dielectric grease, put some on this wand here, and then I do a method as Buildstreamer Minterly calls plugging the butt. Permatex is good because it's a very thick sort of silicone grease, long-lasting. Doesn't really go away with use. Yeah. So for plug the butt. Oh, this is gonna be a tricky one to show on camera, but. So on the back part of the stabs here, on the slider, that's tough to tell, but there's a little hole where the wire that clips in goes. And what you want to do is just take a generous amount of Permatex and just kind of fill that empty space in the back there. Yeah, plug it in where the wire comes there. Oh, dude, don't talk to me about popped wires. Like when you get to the end of a build and then realize the wire popped, and it's a pain in the ass to fix it back, you just kind of it's time to die. You just kind of accept your fate at that point. It's not too bad if you have a desolder gun, I guess. I still need to get me one of those. I've had good luck fixing the wire back in using a couple pairs of tweezers, but it's not the most fun game of gymnastics to play. So overall, this stab's looking pretty okay. I'm just kind of plugging that up. I'm just taking a little extra of the dielectric grease and just really plugging it up back there. Oh, thanks. Yeah, this is space-themed mouse mat, desk mat. For the set GMK Voyager, I'll pan the camera over a little bit to show. So it has that planetary alignment there, and I guess it's a little hard to show on camera. But we got the timeline here, all dates important to space exploration on the side. It's very fun, very sort of thematic. Exclamation point board. You know, Kraken, maybe soon. That would be hype to get a Germa collab going. Or even just to see a Germad mouse mat. Anyways, welcome to the stream, bud. Good to see you. I'm just plugging bots live on stream. Yes. You are correct, Birdie. Exclamation point bird is... and I'm going to try to keep this updated as I make changes as I go on with streams. That'll be for what my current board is I'm using at home. So that's the specs for this particular board. Knox Free 268 round 2 pink polycarbonate. Oh, hell yeah, Kraken. I am very excited to see how your build comes out, and, you know, if you need any advice, granted, I've been pretty out of date on PC parts, but, you know, if you want to shoot any questions on it, you feel free to let me know. I know Thirsty's also a great resource on that. He recently just went through a bunch of upgrades on his own rig. But yeah, if you want to work on build stuff, definitely hit me up. More than happy to give suggestions and everything, and help you out on that. Also, is it just me, or does this track have some serious Pillarman vibes? Black Eyes, I have done hot swap builds. Usually just working with circuit boards that already have hot swap sockets on them. Just as a personal thing, I tend to prefer soldered builds because there's a sort of sense of finality to it. It just kind of, you fix it, it's permanent. But hot swap builds are, you know, a very nice option, especially if you want to play around with switch choices in the future. Plus, it's just kind of a preference thing. With soldered builds, you can change out layouts. There'll generally be multiple holes on the circuit board. Like, say here on the spacebar, to cover a few different positions, a few different layout options. With hot swap, you just can't do that because the physical hot swap sockets. So, you know, if you don't mind having that sort of fixed layout, hot swap's always a good option. I usually just tend to build layouts that aren't offered in hot swap boards. It's been a little chilly this weekend. Friday too. I remember, what was it, Friday morning, I went outside to the driveway, get in my car, get to work, and as soon as I turned it on, it was reading 9 degrees. You know what? Maybe I am. Poopy Unicorn, I gotta tell you, well, your builds may be basic. Your coffee picks are anything but. Those are some mighty fine looking pours you've been doing. All love, though. Dude, you're getting a foot between tomorrow and Tuesday? I'm getting like 2 inches. And that is a definite rip to you. Oh, man. Having to take a dump on a cold toilet, that hits different in the worst of ways. Okay. Alright. Give me 1 sec, just gotta grab the keycaps for this. Good morning indeed. So, I've finished just reapplying lube to the stabs, in case any may have dried up. Now I'm just going to put on the stabilized keycaps, just to test out the stabs, make sure they're good. Busting out a fancy pants keycap holder for this set. So just to explain what I'm doing is, so now that I've tuned up these stabilized keys here, I'm just going to put what I call the stabilized keycaps. Anything longer than 2 units, 2 standard keycap sizes, needs a stabilizer. You can see you have one insert for the stem here, and then these 2 for the stabs. Just want to make sure these are tuned well, because if I get to the point where, you know, I solder everything in, find out, oh shoot, you know, this stabilizer was assembled wrong, or it needs more lube, it gets to be a real pain to fix up afterwards, because to get these stabilizers out, I would have to desolder all the switches that are currently in here. If I was using a normal full plate, that means I would have to desolder every switch in the plate, which I've been there. It's not fun. So that's why we test these things early. Just make sure that's seated right. I mean, I guess that's one way to lube a switch. I mean, honestly, I feel like patience just kind of comes with the building process, at least personally. It just the very act of doing it kind of relaxes me. But I do understand that isn't necessarily for everyone. Oh yeah. Plus, this is a different plate material than the one in your board. Yours is FR4, which is a fiberglass material. It's actually the same material a circuit board's made out of. Which, it's still like a plastic plate material, but it's not quite like this polycarbonate material here. Alright, that's sounding good. That doesn't sound too bad. The main thing I'm checking for here is rattle. If I don't have enough lube on either side of the stabilizer, the wire in there can make a rattling noise inside the housing, which we don't want. I'm just making sure it sounds solid. Doesn't really sound too over-lubed. Always important to check because this is a stage where it doesn't hurt too bad if we make a mistake on that. That's sounding pretty even. Cool. So, now that that's tested okay, we can pop these out. You can see, because the switches aren't soldered in yet, it's pretty easy to pop them out. So, pop them back in, because this is a polycarbonate plate. Got to make sure the plate itself rides back up on the switch. Slight annoyance, but that's just the nature of having a flexible plate. You can see taking off the stabilized switches off this plate is going to take off all those stabilized switches with it. That's fine. Just put them back in, easy peasy. So, just making sure the switches are seated okay. Looks like everything's seated well, and I can put the Permatex aside because all those stabilized keys are good. Which means I can flip this over. Got my tip tinner right there. Oh, really? I hadn't even checked. I just put the makers and crafting category on earlier today when I was doing all the pre-stream setup. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more than 2 build streamers active right now, just outside of that tag or category. So I'm just hooking up my soldering station right there. Got my iron right here. Just gonna move my board out of the way, get ready for soldering. Oh, wow. And right before I start soldering, I'm just going to take a quick bio break. And also to get some eye protection. I'll be back in just a couple moments. Sorry about that. I am back. Thank you very much, Birdie, for keeping chat engaged. Hello, hello, my good folks. Alright, I'm back. I have eye protection here. Always very important to have when soldering. If you already wear glasses, then you're pretty covered on that front. Let me just grab my fume extractor. So I just realized I haven't fired this thing up on mic yet. Let me just know how. I just turned on the fume extractor. It's right over here, just barely out of camera. Oh no, Kraken. That's right, you've done a fair amount of soldering yourself. Do you have to use leaded or lead-free solder for that? Not too loud? Okay, awesome. Alright. I'll just turn that off for a sec while I set up a couple things. Forgot the water. I got my desoldering pump right here. Hopefully we don't have to use it too much for this. Roll of Kester solder right here. I think 6337 leaded. Tip tenor right here. Just going to take a little bit of water, add it to the sponge right here, so I can clean the tips while I'm working. I don't need a ton. Just enough to get the pad wet, basically. It's my iron. Just me, or does it keep repeating songs? Let me just change it up a little. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I work with leaded solder. Alrighty. And actually, before I start, reminds me, Birdie, I forgot to show you another command I added. Yes, I have done RGB builds before. I haven't had too much experience soldering in actual LEDs, but for like for Thirsty Birdie's build, his build has RGB and that's on the PCB. He's using a circuit board with hot swap sockets and RGB on there. Which, if you're interested in doing RGB build, we can definitely take a look at PCB options that support RGB. Chances are it shouldn't be too hard to find. Yeah, I'm just not a big RGB guy personally, so I just don't do it on my own builds, but, you know, if you're looking for having a board built and you want that on there, definitely. And actually, this board has underside mounted LEDs for RGB, so rather than shining up on this side, it'll shine out on the bottom, because the case for this, it's like a frosted clear plastic. Nah, it wasn't that hard to secure. Just had to find a seller with that particular PCB. Anyways, Birdie, the command's there, but where's the drink? Oh shoot, is it not showing who's following? Sorry, one sec. Whoever just followed, I'm sorry, my overlay is not working too great. So let me just refresh and see who just hopped in. Wow, okay, Dio. You were gonna unfollow anyways. Well, before you unfollow, thank you for following in the first place. Anyways, so Checkerman said, I have this because I'm opening it right now. It's a little gift from Birdie. I'm gonna crack on stream. Hey, Birdie. Welcome back. You came just in time for me to open this. Oh, you beat me to it. Let me take a whiff. Ooh. That smells lovely. Alrighty, just poured some out. Anyways, y'all, thank you all so much for coming to my first build stream. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Birdie, for all the help and advice you gave, as well as for this lovely bottle. And say, cheers. Ooh, that goes down nicely. Alrighty. Now for the fun part, soldering. So I'm just currently waiting for my soldering station to get up to temp. Got my tip here, a little bit of residue from last time. So I'll just clear that off and re-tin. Oh, thanks, Birdie. Appreciate it. The vibe I try to go for. I find building to be a pretty relaxing process for me, so I hope that's the same for all y'all. Alrighty. Let's do some soldering. So I generally like starting to solder with kind of like the corner keys, help stabilize the plate. And the thing about soldering keyboards is it honestly doesn't take crazy high temps or too much solder to get going. You kind of just want to melt just a bit. Get some nice, neat little cones. Use a little more solder on that. Oh yeah. Speaking of Kraken, how's it been going with the 30K? You been working on any new figures? Well, Birdie, you're playing Dark Tide with us once that comes out, right? Hell yeah. Hey, Seabiscuit, thanks for coming by, man. How's the Mysterium builds been going? You built with those tangerines yet? Ooh. It's gonna be a fun one. Anything special you're thinking of for the paint job on that, Kraken? So just still sort of working on the anchor pieces right now with soldering. I got all 4 corners, and then now I'm just doing all the stabilized keys. Hey! Thank you very much for the follow, Sequio. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. I mean, Seabiscuit, you're right, but also, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, am I right? Ah, nice. Your niece excited for her build? I'm hyped to see her amped about keyboards too, dude. Is this your board? No. This is a soldered build. This is a slightly bigger size board. This is a TKL or a 10 keyless board. Yours is a 75%. But I can get going on yours pretty soon. I got all the parts for it. Alright, we got the stabilized keys. Let me just pause for a minute just to check that the stabilized keys are working okay. Ooh. I just read what you said, Kraken. That sounds like it's going to be real slick. I can't wait to see your whips on that. Okay. So right now, I'm gonna open up VIA. If VIA decides to open up. I'm just going to test the switches that I have soldered in. Make sure those work out. Hey, Tim Keyless, welcome. You know, this is my first build with Merlots, actually, but lubing them up, I actually like them. They're like just kind of like a fairly standard Gateron recolor. But we like those. Those are solid switches. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate it. How's this? USB-C. Alright. Use the cable I have here. Hook this up. Get instantly blinded because this PCB does have RGB. Just... oh god, my eyes. I actually forgot this thing had RGB on the top side as well. Alright, so that's the 4 corner keys. Left shift, space, right shift, enter, backspace. So that's all the keys I have soldered so far. Oh, I know. My eyes are freaking out. I had it like this right in front of me. Then I plugged it in. I'm so not used to working with RGB that whenever I get it, it's like a flashbang. True. Cool. Well, I gotta solder them all to press on them all. Whew. Alrighty. So that's a good sign. Everything works so far. We like that. So, let the iron get back up to temp real quick. Take another sippy poo. Alright, now that the 4 anchor keys and stabilized keys all work out, just going to solder the rest of the keys that are in the plate so far. And then I can do all the unstabilized keys. Just making sure everything's seated, because polycarbonate can be a little extra work like that. Cool. Alrighty. Let's go through. Oh yeah. Close that out for now. Oh no. Yeah, they can be a bit of a time to play with. I mean, I like the flex, the sound from them, but these days I find myself preferring not polycarbonate, palm plates more. I just have an easier time with them, and honestly still get really happy with the results. A little extra here, so I'll just take out a bit of the excess. Yeah, but you've been building nice boards, dude. Casually listing a duck up on Mech Market right now. Re-upping that timestamp. Could use a little more to those spins. Sorry, this isn't the most visually interesting part, lads. Let me... Cord's a little short to get it on picture, but it's a fume extractor. Seabiscuit. Is it too loud? Uh-oh, we got the live Mech Market hookup right here. History of the making, boys. RMM trade. right on a debut stream live. Hey, Osakrio, welcome back. Sorry, still playing around with camera angles and stuff. Wait, you're kidding me. How do I have 15 views? I didn't even advertise. Oh, Zachary, if you hit exclamation point board in the chat, I have a command for that. Oh, exclamation point board is for the current board I'm using at home. Exclamation point build is for what I'm currently building. There you go. Yep. So that is the details on the build. How's everyone's days been? Been a bit nippy up where I am. Everyone keeping warm, keeping good? Cold AF, I feel that. I don't think I have song requests up yet. Yeah, I'm trying not to get DMCA'd on my first stream, you know? 17 inches? God damn. I think I'm only projected like a couple inches over by me. I've had barely any snow this winter, and it feels weird. So if y'all get hit with all that snow, it's coming real inland, right? Because I'm closer to the coast. $10 inches to a foot. Woo. Campaign writing and chilling, nice. Is that for the Mork board campaign, Kraken? Wow. Man. Damn. Yeah, I'm just chilling over in Mass. I'm over by the... I'm not on the Cape, but I'm on the way to the Cape. That joint looks okay. I can clean that tip. Ooh, man. I can't wait to hear how that campaign's going. The notes you sent me over so far sound very good. Do you feel like a hero yet? Okay, that's a couple rows down. Whew, getting there. Usually depends on the size of the board, but generally it takes me about an hour to an hour and a half on just the soldering. Seabiscuit, Poopy Unicorn, Alka, how long does it usually take you guys to solder a board? Cracking out here, serving PTSD with a side of campaign. That's it for that row. Unicorn, you stressed on a build? You'll get over that quick, trust me. I remember the first couple builds I did were very, very anxiety inducing, but it gets easier. Yeah, it's 120 to like maybe 126 solder joints on a 60%. Hey, thanks for the kind words, Seku. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so what is the difference in usage between leaded and lead-free solder? I've only ever used lead-free solder. I hear leaded solder... sorry, I've only used leaded solder. I hear lead-free solder can be a bit hard to work with. Hey, thanks for the follow. What do we have? I'm sorry, I set up the overlay not so great. And it'll play the alert, but it won't give me the name. Well, whoever just followed, if you want to stop in and say hi, I'm more than happy to welcome you. Hey, well, welcome, Sakuyo. Thank you for the official follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, that is one of the things I heard about lead-free, is the fumes are worse for you. Which kind of surprised me, because I thought part of the point for lead-free, you know, aside from RoHS compliance, is to be better for you. Get away from lead. Well, thank you, Secretary. I appreciate it. What temp do you guys use lead-free at, then? So for the leaded solder I have right now, the Kester I use, it's 600F is what I'm set for. I used to solder closer to 650, 700 when I started, but once I switched to the roll I have now, which is hold on, I can pull it up. It's a no clean 60/73 ratio. It's honestly been real nice working with the lower temps. I get less splatter, partly from using the no clean version of my leaded solder, and partly from the lower temps. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I got the Rosen core on mine. I think it's 5 core. Alrighty. So looking over, looks like we got all the plated keys soldered. Which should hold all the plate in place with the PCB. Just gonna dial back the camera a little and use this to just run another quick test. Make sure the PCB's working okay, make sure all the switches are soldered correctly. Oh, wow. Shoot, yeah, I was soldering almost those temperatures on leaded solder. 130 watt irons, that is powerful. Alright, I'm just gonna point this PCB a little bit away to not make the camera freak out. Alright, quick test. Yep, pretty, except for where my eyes are burning out of my sockets. Just on the peripheral. That does look nice, though. Just waiting for VIA to open back up. Sometimes the program can be real slow. Got my eyes. No. Sorry, I'm getting like a little bit of delay on the switch tester on my end, so it just throws me off. Ah, everything checks out. Looks good. Alright. That's enough blinding myself. Okay. Now the fun part. You can pop in the remaining switches. Turn that off for a second. Please no RGB Emperor. Alrighty. Now we got the rest of my lubed and film Merlot switches here. Start popping them in. Okay. Ooh, man. And this would mess with the plates somehow. Let me just pop the rest of these in, and then I can work on fixing the plate alignment. So, while I love Gateron switches, they tend to have some very fatty, the PCB mount pins, these plastic pins, these two, tend to be a little fat for some of the holes in the PCB. Ends up being a little bit of work you got to put in for that friction fit. Nothing crazy bad, but if you find yourself having a real hard time with it and you're using a full plate, not a half plate build, then you might want to consider clipping those pins. At least that's what I used to do personally. Nowadays I usually just try to force it in for that max stability, but it's not a bad option. Now, these are far and away from the worst pins to put in, worst switches to put into a plate. I remember working with a tight brass plate on the Bach.CP with Holy Jesus switches, and oh. A, it was over 100 switches because it was a compact full-size board. B, it was a tight-fitting brass plate with one of the fatter switches around in terms of housing size, and oh, I murdered my thumbs putting those switches in. My thumbs were sore for the next, I think, maybe 1 or 2 days after. Alright, now that we're away from the plated snip, clips in pretty nicely. Switch insertion ASMR.
I don't have a lot of patience for people who feel like they're downloading from the cosmos. You know, just like that's how it came out.
Also, folks in chat, how's the mix with the music? Is it still good? Understand some tracks are louder than others.
Understanding rather than from a place of fear.
Do you need me to adjust the mix?
I'm just grateful for any idea that comes along. And you don't want to change it because you don't know how.
Switch pins are
It's
straight.
not about the ideas, it's about how you support the ideas.
Can you actually not hear the music? I can take a look at that. Oh yeah, there was like some spoken word stuff. I can raise the volume of the music a little. Hey Birdie, welcome back. Not too much. I finished soldering all the switches that are in the half plate, so now I'm putting the switches into the section that doesn't have the plate. Just a little bit of work snapping these guys in. Nothing too crazy. Any Pooper Unicorn, that'd be very immersive. Go for it. Just kind of just planning on making this be a thing that folks can just throw on in the background. So I know board building isn't the most exciting thing to watch, but figure just some chatting, some relaxing tunes, and make it a little bit of a relaxing watch for folks, hopefully. Ooh. I mean, that sounds like something y'all gotta work out in chat. Man, I look forward to doing the K build stream. I mean, I got a healthy amount of loop switches. I think I'm still a little undecided on what switch I'm putting in there. I mean, he's listed in the viewers list. He probably put it on the background. Lurking. Oh my god, it feels like I can't put a single switch into this without having to fix alignment on the plate. It's amazing. Yeah, see? So yeah, Oko just vibing. Don't bug him. Unless it's to fight him. In which case, do it out in chat. You got an audience. So my K is the stainless steel bottom, actually. Because I have a thing where if I, particularly with smaller boards, if I have the option of making it heavier via weight or bottom housing or full housing, you bet I'm going to go for it. I don't necessarily always go for super heavy boards per se, but if I have the option to make a board heavier, I'll go for it. I just like the idea of small boards being comically hefty. Hey, Ash, welcome. Good to see ya. Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate you swinging by, especially since I know it's a little bit late on your end. Or rather, a lot of bit late. Good, good. I'm just hanging out with everyone in chat and just slowly but surely putting this guy together. How you doing, man? Good seeing you. Apparently. You're the one telling me. I'll take your word for it. In fact, that sounds right from past times hanging out in Discord. Quick whiskey sip. Yo, collab build stream? Hell yeah. I want to see it. Let me know when your boys do it. I mean, if the Voice 65's in the mix, that's going to be like a three-way collab since I'm already supplying you lube and stabs for that. Oh no. I don't know if my poor desk can take it. It's I did a good job of hiding it from the camera view, but I honestly don't have a lot of free space on my desk because I have amps strewn about everywhere. I really like my desk, but it's got a hutch on it, and it's made me unable to do certain things like dual monitor setup. I'm really thinking of taking the hutch off. And maybe a dual monitor stand that's maybe clamp mount if I can fit a clamp on this desk. Supervise and supply. I like it. Alrighty. What you been up to today, Ash? No, it's real late, apparently 2:30 in the morning on your end, but hope it's been good, man. Alright, I'm just gonna solder the unplated switches for now. And then fix plate alignment right before I start screwing this bad boy together. Just letting the iron heat up. Now it's almost there. Clean this off a little. A word? Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. These are Gateron Merlots. They're basically just a Gateron recolor, but I like the color scheme, and honestly, like a nice solid color housing. I ended up lubing these with Krytox 204, spring swapping with Sprit 69 gram springs, filming with clear TX films, and lubing the springs with Krytox 105. Which Krytox 204 is, I don't think it's necessarily 1-to-1, but it's like a close enough equivalent to Tribosis 3204. So, pretty standard treatment for a linear. I mean, even with all the excitement of JWKs and Durox, like, you throw a solid application of lube on a Gateron and they'll still do pretty darn well. Like, I don't think Gat Yellows will be dethroned from their sort of linear king status for budget switches. Banana splits. I can't recall. Do they have anything special going on for the housing, or were they just a straight up JWK / Duroc recolor? I actually do have a sample one that I got from a vendor. Oh my god, a 55-gallon drum of lube. That. Are you using that all for switches or for other reasons? Honestly wished Krytox was a grease we used at work, because then I could just try to sneak an order in. Or just like hit up a dealer for samples. But sadly that's not something we use on our machines. But yeah, okay. If you want, after stream, like I can, actually after I'm done soldering, I can pull out my stock banana split and just give you like quick on the spot impressions. Yeah, I think it's a recolor, and then like they did something different with the spring maybe, but off the top of my head, I think it's still just like a JWK Duroc factory spring, maybe just with a different weight. And I think those springs are pretty fine. They just have like a small crunch to them. I generally replace those springs, but if you hit it with a thicker oil like Krytox 105 or 107, you'll be okay. If you like the spring white. They certainly are a very colorful switch. I guess nice if you're doing a theme build. I'm just personally kind of at the stage where I'm all set on JWK / Duroc linears, unless they're doing something interesting like housing material, like the Duroc palm switches or the JWK lavenders. Yeah, but Kraken, if you go back to the OG way of responsible AR usage, it's to drop that in the jungle and pick up an AK. Oh yeah, Poopy Unicorn. Then that's just a straight up JWK Duroc recolor. Housing wise, nothing special. But if you're a fan of the sound signature and you like that stock smooth switch, it is a smooth switch, definitely. Yeah. Hey, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Afraid I don't have the alerts set up right, so I don't see your name. If you want to just pop in, say hi in chat, I can give you a shout out. Yeah, see, basically, let me know what you try for lubes. Like, I feel like not enough people have been super adventurous these days. Like a lot of the exploration was done in sort of like the early days of the hobby. So, you might have come across some very interesting options. Hey, June, welcome! Thanks for joining the stream, man. Appreciate it. Sit down, get comfy, feel like we've got going. Oh, thanks. This is a Sony A7 III. I got it for photography and stuff too. But so far, I've just had it mounted up here for video stuff. Used to do digital photography stuff back in high school. Now I'm kind of getting back into it. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I kind of picked it up as something to keep me busy during the whole pandemic, as well as for build streams and stuff. Oh, Black Cherry Pies. That's a Frankenswitch came up with a buddy of mine in the Smith and Rune Discord server. So, and you can sub out parts for it, but it is a JWK / Duroc linear bottom housing. Traditionally, it's made with H1 bottom housings, a cherry switch top, and a cream stem. You have a bit of a reduced travel because the cream stem is longer than a typical stem. So but you get that nice bottom out sound on the stem and that deeper top out sound from the cherry housing, as well as using a smooth switch bottom from the H1. Yeah, it's it's kind of an expensive meme switch, but like honestly the results are nice. I wouldn't do it unless you had a plan for the leftover materials, or if you just already had them on hand. No, but I feel you. Frankenswitches can be some pretty Wild West stuff. I see people come out with interesting stuff. Folks making stuff just to try, but You know, it's definitely good just to experiment with maybe one or two at a time in a switch tester or a hot swap board, see if you like it. I definitely wouldn't try committing right off the bat. I know, it does sound delicious. For another build I have coming up, I made a black cherry pie, but using the Novel Keys silk switch for the bottom housing, a silk yellow. Because it was functionally the same thing, to keep the acronym BCP, I called it Boston Cream Pie. It had that sort of look, too, with the white bottom, black top, and cream-colored stem. There's a million ways you can go with Franken switches. I've seen some pretty unique stuff out there. Sure. Alright, 2 more rows left, boys. Almost there. So holy wow, I've been at it over an hour 40. Time flies, my dudes. Yes, cream pie. So yeah, funny thing, Seabiscuit. So when the guy I know in Smith and Rune, Why Are You Running, before he created the black cherry pie switch, he tried out just putting a cream stem in an H1 housing. So just taking the H1 switch out of the whole housing and putting the cream switch in, and he liked that at first before he decided to change to cherry tops for the sound. And the name he would use around for that was black cream pie, which he'd always put in spoiler tags. Black cherry pie, along with top out changes, a little more safe for work name, I guess. That's true. I guess it is a missed opportunity on white cream pie. I'm happy with Boston cream pie though. Still keeps the acronym because it's functionally the same. Plus a little bit of local representation. Oh, Seabiscuit, you get a chance to mess around with those tangerine switches yet? Curious what your thoughts are. Ah, honestly, Kraken. Actually, that reminds me. I gotta figure out how to do it. Slash bug Thirsty Birdie on his secrets on how to do it. But putting in like a couple chat commands that'll spawn like a GIF with sound. And for one of them, maybe do BCP. Because I have a couple builds planned with those, and just have it be the Always Sunny clip. Talking about cream pies. Oh, cool. Yeah, I feel you, Seabiscuit. Moving's never fun. It's always a ton of work. Alright. I hope that goes smoothly, man. What is that going with? Because I know you had a couple Mysteriums on hand. Is it not going in one of those? Do you get a different board? Okay, almost through leads. And we've re-10 the tip for the last sprint. Yeah, it's funny, going through this, I'm also just kind of reacquainting myself, making sure I'm not getting too rusty. I actually haven't built a board at all since about July. Yeah, early July. I just ended up getting caught up with stuff before I could set up for streaming and everything, get the time schedule set up. And the whole time, you know, I'd be prepping for builds, thinking, oh, I can't build off camera, it's going to be a waste. Part of the reason why I had this be a work in progress for so long. Yeah, Kraken, I hope to have that going up. I'll let you know when I get that going. That'll be fun. Also, it's funny, I had changed the playlist to like a station that does sort of chill stuff. And I feel like almost everything I've had playing in it has been a bit more active than I was going for. Hopefully that doesn't throw off the vibe too much for folks. I've actually been kind of digging it. You. Honestly, Poopy Unicorn, you're right. Dude. Yeah, honestly, Birdie, chat is lit. I am pleasantly surprised. I kind of fired up tonight as kind of like a low-key start, just to make sure I had things working before sort of trying to advertise this more. And I'm also really happy y'all have shown up and just been popping off in chat. Thank you all so much. Oh. No, I'm I'm not doing a desolder stream until I finally order that desolder gun. Like this Engineer SSO2 solder pump is a very nice and handy tool, but to do a whole board with this sucks. It just ain't built for that. Dude, stick and stone solder. Oh no, Birdie. I was just saying. I was talking with Kraken earlier. I was thinking, you know, maybe I could try to figure out / bug you on how to put in those chat commands, like how you have ! sad on your stream. That'll play like that little GIF with the sound. Of course, I got to get the source materials for it too. But got some funny commands in mind. Pooping Unicorn, you got the big brain strats on the desolder gun. Gee, I'm trying to see if I can try to finagle one through work. Because we do have soldering stuff going on. Like if we have an order for soldering equipment going in, see if I can maybe piggyback. We'll see. Ah, I got you, Seabiscuit. Yeah, honestly, those are all solid options. I think I sent over, what was it, about 100 switches, so that only covers one of them, but like honestly, if you got another 50 switches or so, you could be able to do a Mysterium and a Discipline or a DZ60. Alrighty. So, we got this all soldered up. Honestly, doesn't look too bad on the backside. A little bit of residue, but honestly, it's been a lifesaver switching to the no clean solder as opposed to what I was using before, because I used to have a spray of like PCB cleaner in like a hard bristle ESD safe brush I would clean it up all in the back, which it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but you know, not having to do that's very, very welcome. Alrighty. That sounds like a big boy desoldering station you got at work there. I was just thinking of like a basic Hako, was it FR3L1? It's like the classic everyone uses. Let me just fire up VIA and get the switch tester going. Ow. What? Split backspace is the way. I will fight you. Sorry about that. This computer's chugging a little, just trying to get VIA up. Dude, hella bright. Keep so bright, gotta wear shades. Split backspace is the way. Hey, Kraken, thank you so much for swinging by, man. I really appreciate you stopping in, joining us in chat. Always a pleasure to have you, and thanks for the warm wishes. I hope tomorrow goes well for you. And I hope you get some good sleep, boyo. Alright, you have a good one, Boyle. Alright, looks like that's all checking out. I'm using a win keyless bottom row, so that's why I have those gaps in the bottom row. Don't have those switches soldered in. Alright. So, that being said, looks like everything was soldered okay. Can put the soldering station away. Move that fan out. Music stop? Actually, let me just switch the vibe back to jazz. Holy crap, that is some serious speed there, Seabiscuit. Actually, let me change it up to a little bit of lo-fi. Alrighty. Let's get this plate and PCB assembly in a housing, shall we? Oh, I don't know. 500 pounds of molten solder sounds like my idea of a date, bro. So, packaging on this board was actually pretty nice and elaborate. Definitely a cool unboxing experience. Let me move this out of the way to show it a bit. So I had gotten a couple extra plates with it, but by default it's got that nice PVD brass plate. Dude, you can only get the grinding on my OnlyFans. Yeah. Getting nice and shiny full brass. Full-on flexi polycarb plate. I'm using the half plate version, which cuts out this section here. An optional sort of silicone layer for dampening. An extra PCB. So I'll probably end up doing another build for this at some point, because I got the materials for it, and why not? Dude, you know I gotta plug it. Gotta respect the hustle, right? That is not what we're here for. Oh yeah, it came with these little boxes that had, it came with 90 Tangy switches for in here, set of stabilizers and the screws and stuff. Nice little goodies. Stock USB. We got, this is like an optional thing for extra RGB around the, I think it's around the escape key. But as we saw, it's already a good bit bright. Oh. An extra badge. And the case itself. Moment of truth. So this is the Equalz 0.9 TKL Polycarbonate edition by C3. Let me flip over the backside for y'all. See on the weight, you can see the name on it. Manufacturer, C3. Already got the bump-ons installed. So, first order of business is to unscrew this guy. This was honestly one of the best quality of life things I found once I got into the hobby. Just like a nice electric screwdriver. It doesn't have to be fancy. This one's like a $30 cheapie wow stick. But it comes with a ton of bits. This and 2 more tubes just like this. Just all different bits. You know, maybe next time. I kind of decided before to do Gap Merlots with this, but I could do C3 switches in the future. Get that unscrewing ASMR for y'all. You know, the name really does sound like something else, doesn't it? That, I swear to God, that is the name on Amazon. No S fake. Are they really like $50 up? No. I don't know if I'd pay 50 for them, but 30's an easy clap. I think price just goes up and down on that stuff. Honestly, maybe some folks are just buying them more now. Getting into building and stuff. So I first bought this, I think maybe mid-late 2019. No, late 2019, I want to say. So we got the bottom housing. Pretty simple. Just has 2 screws there for the weight, which, as we saw earlier, on the underside. So, let me set that aside for now. And here we got the backside of the top of housing. Very light, because it just has this one weight on there. And oh, yeah, Minterly did talk about that, didn't she? So, got an alternate badge, but I think I might just stick with the default for now. Give it a little bit of that OG Chinese flair. So, the plate fits onto there pretty easy. Just gotta find where the heck I put the bag of the screws. Here we go. I think these should be it. You know, I normally do have a jank little setup where I have this between 2 boxes of about equal height, but I can't remember what all I used for that, so I'll just start this at an angle for now. just to get it situated. Come on. You know, thank God for magnetic tip screwdrivers. Makes life way easier dealing with these kinds of parts. Okay, that's half the screws in. Okay, that looks like everything is pretty seated. So, let's fit this on. Fits together like a charm. It's good use of locating tabs in the design. Now let's put some screws in. I always like working from the corners first. Go with diagonally opposed screws. Okay, just get them snug. Don't need to over tighten them. Especially on polycarbonate without threaded inserts, you really don't want to strip those screws. Okay, so we've got everything seated. Same looks and feels pretty good. Cool. Wow stick back in its perch. I was lucky. I happen to have the right size bit already installed. I didn't even plan that. It's good. It saves me a couple minutes of awkwardly trying out different bits. Alrighty. Time to get this dressed up. Start out with the stabilized keys that I already had out. Going with a real OG key set here, SA Jukebox. I think maybe round 2. It's an older set from back in the day. Developed by, designed by Living Speed Bump. A little bit of a retro look. Hopefully something that matches pretty okay with the polycarb case. Ooh. Mods don't sound bad, but I'm liking that SA spacebar. I used to be more into SA keycaps, then kind of went back to being more of a cherry GMK guy, but honestly, like a solid build with SA keycaps. Can't say I don't like it. Hold on, there's a smarter way to finagle this. How y'all doing in chat? Staying comfy, I hope. That should make it a little easier. Hey, Black Ice. Good to see you. Oh, thank you. It's been, the stream's been coming along pretty well. Got a lot of folks popping in chat. Always grateful to see. And so far, it's been a smooth build. I'd actually been off the wagon for a bit, and this was my first time actually building in about, yeah, a little over 7 months. So half of it was me making sure stream's going okay, and the other half was making sure that building's going okay. But seems like we're in a good spot. Oh yeah, you get your bread, milk, and eggs. The classics before any nor'easter. Ah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Oh, Chinese and Snapple. Well, the classic advice is bread, milk, and eggs. But kind of like the other half of the saying is Chinese and Snapple, right? We're getting there. Actually, before I put that in, where is my keycap puller? Oh yeah, definitely, Black Guys. Be more than happy to help walk you through the process. And you know, whatever questions you have, definitely more than happy to go over that with you. I'm sure Thirsty Birdie can attest. There's more than you'd expect going on with keyboards. So, any questions you have, I'd be more than happy to field them and go through them. Because once you get into the world of keyboards, there's a lot of interesting things that you end up learning about for the first time, like size and layouts. Keycaps, there's different profiles. Like these caps, SA, are very high profile, which for some folks might be too tall, for others just right. Some folks might prefer something shorter on the keycap side. Materials is also a thing. Yeah, no, I know. SA is... just to show the profile from the side, it's high. It's a full sculpt. You can see it's curved like a C there, row by row. But on the plus side, even if you're not quite a fan of the height in typing, I gotta say, SA is a very photogenic profile. I mean, I can do a build with DSA. I've definitely done DSA. I mean, even my current daily driver, the 268.2, it's not DSA. It's I mean, it is DSA. It's just not from Signature Plastics, but DSA Magic Girl, that's a flat profile. You look row by row, flat as a board. Yeah. No, definitely Black Ice. like I said, there's a lot going on with it. You know, you might completely change your mind midway through, just be like, oh, actually, you know, maybe go for XYZ sort of options, and that's completely okay. You know, feel free to ask Thirsty Birdie on his experience, because, you know, there was definitely a good amount of back and forth between me and him. That's totally okay. That's part of the process. It's all about the board that you want to use, that the features you'd like to have, all that. Oh, hey, Birdie. No, Black Ice was talking about maybe talking to me about commissioning a build, and I was telling him, like, yeah, no, definitely, there's a lot to it that I'm sure you can attest to, and I'm more than happy to go over, explain all the different options to him and factors, because there can be a surprising amount of depth to keyboards, or more options than one would think. Yeah, no, that's... No worries, Black Ice. I hear ya. I ended up just kind of deep diving and learning a lot from the community over the years, and always happy to share that with folks. Genius? Hell no. I've just had enough not so great builds to be able to point at that and say, alright, that thing I did, yeah, I'm not going to do that again. Maybe I'll do this or that. Yeah, I don't know if they're still coming out with max key SA sets, Poopy Unicorn, but, like, honestly, those are some pretty solid ones to try as well. I don't know how much you're looking to spend to try out SA. I might have, I need to slim down on sets and stuff. I might have an SA set to sell you if you're interested. I'll definitely have to take a look. Yeah, that's cool, Black Eyes. And you know, it's not anything that needs to be decided snap, in case you're worried about that. Honestly, the hobby's more about waiting than anything else. So much stuff in this is just not in stock. Things are running limited production runs, so you could be waiting a while on things. I've had builds held up on the board itself, or the keycaps, or the switch, and held up for months. That's the nature of the beast. Damn, SA going for less than 50 on Mech Market? Nah, Birdie, you weren't that tricky. You just liked your RGB. Yeah, flexibility is definitely appreciated, but, you know, I will definitely help you to the best of my ability. Also, the money shot. 2 polycarbonate boards side by side. We got the TKL Equalz Zer0.9 Polycarb with SA Jukebox on it, with lubed Gateron Merlots for the switches. And beneath, and then right above it, we got the Noxry 268.2 round 2 pink polycarbonate board with lubed and filmed alpaca switches and DSA Magic Girl. Pink's a little hard to show up on camera, but it's kind of that nice, sort of faded out pink polycarb, like in the those pink see-through Game Boy Colors. Same material, actually. That was also polycarbonate. So, I'm just... It is like an N64 controller. That doesn't sound too bad. Oh, man. Look at the... See how much this thing's flexing inwards? Man. Half-plate polycarbonate's nuts. Alright. Let me open up my browser, get some monkey type going. Yeah, crazy flexy. Alright. So I unplugged my board. Loading up monkey type right now. Let me just plug this bad boy in. Oh, wee. Dude, honestly, probably could bounce a key off it. Oh, look at that RGB going. Actually, let me just flip this over, see how it... Alright, that's pretty cool. That's a nice underglow. Ooh wee, what a bright boy. It's nice because the polycarbonate is frosted. Helps diffuse the colors. Alright. Let us try to get a typing test. Sorry it's taking a minute, guys. My net is screaming right now. Yeah, there is stuff for that. I'll probably mess around with the software for off stream. But let me just pause the music. Let me add a quick source. So first thing off the bat that messed me up is I've been used to split spacebar, so I wasn't used to the full backspace up here. So I was hitting pipe key when I was trying to undo a mistake on making the new source. Sorry. Can you guys see the screen for monkey type? Hold on. Just playing through it with all the sources. Okay, you guys can't see the screen I have up. It would be right around this corner for monkey type. All right. Let me start the music back up while I'm going through that. Oh, that's weird. Why can I not get this up? That's bizarre. Now, sorry, I'm not sure why that's not up. I'll check that out for next stream, but I can just fire up monkey type on my end, and you guys can just have pure typing. In the meantime, sorry about that, lads. All right. Let's see. Yep, actually, I should probably pause the music first. Okay. Let's get this going. Back again. Round 2. Let's go. Ooh. Garbage. 86 WPM. I can't remember what my usual WPM for this is. I hardly ever measure it because I am not a fast boy. Does sound come up okay on your end? You get a little type in ASMR? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, running through it. Hey, thanks for the follow. Sorry, I don't have the alerts set up right, so I can't actually see the name. If you're in chat, feel free to pop in. Yeah, thanks. I've always been a fan of like a good tune switch sound with SA spacebar. Like it's a nice sort of solid, deep kind of pop. Ooh, ooh. Don't expose me like that. pretty clean sounding. Now, alrighty, boyos. Well, that is a completed build. First completed build on camera. Thank you all a ton for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it. You know, any feedback y'all got after stream, feel free to drop in my suggestion box in the About Me section of my Twitch channel, or feel free to share it over in my Discord. You can always keep the conversation going in Discord. If anyone needs an invite, it's !point Discord. There we go. And looking to keep this up regular. I think I might do another stream before this weekend. I'll take a look at nights. I'll let you all know. I'll drop a ping in my Discord server on that. And then I'm thinking maybe Sunday nights, 8 o'clock or 8:30 start, trying to do that as a regular thing. And yeah, I think that was about it. So, my name is Slash. This is /Builds. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope you all have a good one. Alright, peace. Stay excellent, boyos.